chance. His brother lives near Burlington, Vermont. He probably has a better chance, but he's not going I doubt he has viewing glasses. He was the first one in Canada for this was a great study.
Yeah, you don't know.
No,
Just don't know.
Okay. Technically, farmers without borders, they take the organization.
God's got to be on our side. I know that's what because it's at 140 basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like it's actually working.
And also there's little microclimate, Dallas is huge, right? I mean, this is my location, which is close to where we are here, but that's, it could be it, but there is no, there's no ocean around it. I know. Oh my God, streets are orbiting. Richard's did that. Miracle of miracles.
So in 2017, you were able to see the total eclipse? Yes. Did you photograph? No?
Oh, you would like a NASA sticker.
I do.
Yes,
Thank you. You get swag.
In 2017, we went to CDC. It's in the western part of Florida. We did a partial eclipse. And we had this telescope. We got solar film. So he was able to take with a regular camera. It was pretty nice. I remember my parents who was 80, my dad's 80, we drove up to South Carolina to watch the Totality. They were very frustrated because they tried to find the money they bought it. So they pulled over to Walmart to try to watch it. My mother decided she would go to the bathroom, so she missed it. She said, well, it was more important for me to go to Walmart anyway.
Oh my gosh. This is in 2017.
2017.
Oh my gosh.
They wait till the last minute and says, hey, how do you catch this? We may not live long enough to see the next one. So my dad was driving around and my mom says, you gotta pull over, I gotta go to the bathroom. I can't take you. I just found a Walmart parking lot and I'm going to the bathroom. And then Totality comes. She comes out, says, what's going on? It's done. So, it's my mother, So I'm glad, okay, to navigate out of this traffic. We were in traffic for 2 hours.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, people drive with us.
is a little sticker regarding cycling issue. I'll be talking about cycling. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, I just hopefully I'll be flying back there after this. Once the eclipse is done, and they're forecasting some about between 12 and 2.
Oh boy, oh boy.
You know, last time we were in Orlando, we went to the Kennedy Space Center
Oh, yeah.
for the first time.
Nice.
All the reveal,
Oh yeah.
the space
So
shuttle,
they,
the whole, like I cried.
Yeah.
That was like
Oh,
a
yeah,
mess.
yeah.
It was so amazing.
Yeah, they did an awesome
It
job
was
on that.
so beautiful. Oh my god.
We're in Southern California, so we're seeing all the banana group and stuff.
Yeah, all the
The link.
Starlink.
So,
You got it?
Oh yeah. And did they just raised up the Endeavour space shuttle at the
Oh
Science
yes, they
Center?
just did. Yeah, we went and watched. I go through the neighborhood.
Yes,
we watched
okay.
it fly over Disney.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's gonna be nice, I guess. Once they get it
yeah,
all.
yeah. We've seen it. We saw it when it was flat.
Yeah, we
Did
did
you
too.
guys go?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. So, oh, so excited. Such a fun stuff. Our sons will live for 12 billion years total. How do they know that? How do you know that? No. That's okay. We won't be here for a billion years, so we're good. We're good.
You know,
I think Ron
Can't think of any.
I went to
Like
this
dry
sport
there?
because it's the same.
drive back. Stay there. Stay there.
I think with insurance. Finding it's not as affordable because the interest rates are relatively high. You see, I'm on this one where my parents have 11% mortgage. People are freaking out at 6%. Yeah, I used to have a very low interest, balloon mortgage, 3%, 4%.
You think about it, all skills die.
Yeah.
Like eventually we all die. So, yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah, do you want to get one for him?
Sticker for you.
Did my son get one over there?
Yes, where? Sit.
Seated way at the end.
Oh, I asked him, he said no.
Yeah,
Good idea. Who am I to argue with you, right?
So you work for NASA?
I'm an ambassador for NASA.
Ambassador for NASA.
So
Okay.
technically I don't work for them, but I do work for them.
Public relations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yes. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited to be here.
Yes. I was even more excited this morning when it looked like we were not
Yes.
going to have very many clouds,
Yeah.
but it looks like the reality is. The New York Times. I went to NASA's weather sites and stuff, and it looked like there was 20 to 40% chance, which is scattered clouds.
Yeah.
But this does not look like scattered clouds
No,
to me. It
but-
looks like a heavy,
Yeah.
marine layer or something.
That to me is
What we would call in California marine layer.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
line. That's
hopefully it clears up a little bit.
Yeah. We'll see. But we saw the 2017
Okay.
one. My son and I,
Yeah.
and it was unimpeded by any clouds.
Yeah.
So, you just take your chances.
It is what it is.
it underscores the rarity of the event.
Right, yeah.
You know? So, have you seen one before?
Partial in Orlando,
Okay.
2017. It was like 60%.
Uh-huh.
So I've heard so many awesome things about the total. I'm like, I gotta see it.
Yeah, we saw the Totality in Idaho, and it was. I told myself I'm going to see the next one.
Yeah.
Here I am. Yeah.
Well, keep your fingers crossed.
Right.
It's not like here.
All right.
This is a lot easier.
We had a property in Central Washington. We had a house for 16 years and during COVID, we were getting all those visitations from people from Seattle and San Francisco. And they were quite stepping into the community. It's basically like no sales. I'm moving to South Carolina. It's like going from bad to worse.
Are they booming?
They are. The people that want to are moving to South Carolina because it's below work.
My brother's in
Where? Myrtle Beach?
from Israel.
Yeah, well, he wants to probably be by the beach.
Well, his daughter was there.
I mean, if you've lived in Missouri all your life, going to Myrtle Beach is probably a little bit exotic. I mean, you could theoretically play golf all year round. It's just
It's in August, so summer.
well, I guess I should help him.
You want to pass this over these first? Tell them that English is Hello.
I'm not sustainable.
Okay. Would you like a sticker?
Sure.
There you go. You got your glasses? Your solar observing
yes.
glasses. Okay.
Oh, this is. I'm gonna go to the Perot Museum.
Okay, there you go. Information about how to use them properly so you don't go blind.
You know, I'm traveling
Okay.
like this.
Light, okay.
And you have glasses too.
I do. Yes.
They say that's.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep. Those are the prize for the end.
oh good, oh good. Oh, good.
We're staying over there.
It's actually
radio burst from the sun, or is that radio burst? Oh, but you're not.
I think it may be from. I wasn't paying attention to tell you the truth. I don't know. Maybe
Too
from.
fast radio burst.
Yeah, maybe from other stars.
Mom, could I move?
What is a radio burst?
No, I'm getting it. It's just gonna be about right.
Yeah. No, actually, I want that.
Right. Right. Well, absolutely.
I don't.
Just give me the statement.
No, I brought it, but I don't know if it's gonna be a long.
Really?
Thank you. That's sweet.
I get my glasses, my husband got that.
That's
You
cool.
don't have to lock yet.
Thank you. I'm grateful. That Jack comes, I'll give him this. That.
There's extra donuts. One donut.
Why about what?
Josh, you want to get one of these here? He has them right there. Like he has the stickers and a pamphlet if you want. Yeah. He has them out.
have this here.
Sit down here to the desk. Sit here. Thank you very much. Josh, you want to sit here so the Jack comes
Not
down?
sure if that's ever happened.
No, I'm saying when Jack comes out, I can give him this space here.
Yes, what?
But if he gets nervous, he's gonna sit. I'm gonna sit there because I just want to sit on the seat. Got some new little water bottle glasses.
Yeah. So that means it's more full. That means they like 3/4.
That might affect the more here.
Toca este botón aquí. Toca este botón. Ahora ponga el ritmo. Alright, so that's like. Thank you so much. Now flip it up. Flip it up. I will take one. Thank you so much. Like this. Flip it up.
Zach can see it.
Alright, here's the chair.
Why did Daddy give me a... Why did... Daddy... Why is Daddy giving me a Why is
Oh, you're welcome.
I got you a chair to sit on.
So you and Miriam can sit. Miriam? I'm gonna love it. Come on, Miriam? Miriam. Mom, come sit here, Mommy. You said it was... Now remember, they're going to be friends all over. And we have friends everywhere, so we have
Yeah,
to
about
find
12:20. Clouds in the park. You see the whole thing.
I'll sit on the floor.
Where's Zachary?
Yeah.
Oh, you want one?
We've been watching the weather all week, and this is what they predicted.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like we took a chance.
Well, we still have.
Yesterday was beautiful here. You know,
Yeah.
real clear.
We still have a few hours left, so
Yeah, I know.
they're not.
Our fingers crossed.
They're not predicting rain till later today. So the good way of looking at this, it can't get any worse.
We can't get any worse.
So,
I was hoping it would have been, even if it was cloudy, just to be able to see this.
yeah.
It's still going to get dark, I guess. Yeah, cancel that one.
Wait, I saw that. So, I took myself on and it showed that part is not yet, not yet. So right now what we're gonna do is watch our friends. Pretty close to stepping on the
That guy's getting them out right there.
Yeah, we're giving that presentation. We have that? Excited? Are you excited? Look at your sister on.
Yeah, I mean, how do you break everything? We can have mommy sticker.
And then there's these. Because it doesn't say anything. Just tell them this is
I think that one is the being wheel. That one's called all right, girls. So the guy who's going to teach us about what's happening with the solar eclipse. I think he's standing right behind us. The guy that was giving us stickers.
All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How is everyone?
Good.
Welcome, welcome so much. Thanks so much for coming. Where are you all from? I know we've got some people from Colorado, Miami,
California, Vegas.
California, Vegas. Oregon. All right, so all over the place. So I'm going to do the best I can. There's a lot of activity in this area, so if you can't hear me, I apologize. But my name is Mark Gillette from Orlando, Florida, and I am actually a sociology professor at a college in Orlando called Valencia. But in addition to that, I'm also an ambassador for NASA, have been for about 5 years. I love the opportunity to go out into the community and share with anyone interested in learning about some of the cool things that are happening at NASA. Today, our big event, hopefully with clear skies, is not put on by NASA, but certainly NASA studies many things involved with what's happening today, so that's why I'm here.
I heard you. I heard about you.
Yes. So, but before we get to talking a little bit about today's awesome event, I wanted to share some highlights, some missions that are currently happening at NASA. And so I've got a few missions that I'd like to share with you, and here's a list of them. I'm thinking that since many of you have traveled far from far, you're probably somewhatly interested in space exploration and NASA, so you probably are familiar with some of these, but hopefully at least I can hit on something that you may not know that much about. That's the goal. So, let's get started. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the International Space Station. It's been around and inhabited since 2000, so now about 24 years. Generally, there are roughly about 8 to 10 astronauts that are about 250 miles above us, traveling at over 17,000 miles an hour. Okay, that's pretty fast. They're doing all kinds of awesome science experiments. The space station itself is roughly about the size of an American football stadium. You can see on the right-hand side of the screen is the current patch. NASA's very much in the patches, much like the one that I have on now, which is the official patch of the ambassador program that I'm a part of. So this represents the current Mission 70's patch. But it's pretty cool to think that right now, again, there are about 8 people that are above us, orbiting the Earth about every 90 minutes. Now, I don't know about you, but that's probably the most awesome job I think anybody could get. And one that I'd like, but somehow they overlooked me. If you want to actually see the International Space Station with your own eyes, all you need to do is go to this website, spotthestation.nasa.gov. Spotthestation.nasa.gov. What you do is you put in your address, and then when the space station is visible from where you are at, you'll get an email notification telling you exactly where you need to look, what time, how long it's visible. And of course, you're not going to see this when you look up on the left-hand side. What you're going to see is a small little white dot go across the sky. And so I think for a lot of people, seeing a small little white dot go across the sky is not that not that exciting. But when you think about what that little white dot is, that's pretty cool. So spotthestation.nasa.gov, sign up, it alerts you, and then you can see the International Space Station. Okay? Just making sure I didn't miss anything here. All right. Space Shuttle. NASA's Space Shuttle program ended in 2011, and that presented us a problem. The problem was, how do we get our NASA astronauts back and forth to the ISS? And so NASA decided to contract with a couple different companies, SpaceX and the United Launch Alliance, to ferry our astronauts back and forth. Well, if you watch the news, and again, I'm thinking all of you are probably into this stuff, you know that SpaceX on the left-hand side with its Falcon 9 rocket, the Dragon crew capsule, has been bringing astronauts back and forth for a number of years now, very successfully. They've done an awesome job. On the right-hand side, you see the United Launch Alliance rocket on the bottom, and you see the Starliner on the right-hand side. So again, if you follow the news, you probably know that they've been having some problems. In fact, they are quite a number of years behind. They've been having all kinds of problems. On their first launch, they were not able to successfully dock with the International Space Station, so they had to go back and make some corrections. But right now, the date is set for, I believe, the last time I checked, May 7th. It's supposed to be their first launch with 2 astronauts on board. And so hopefully, if that goes well, then the launches will go back and forth between ULA and SpaceX. That's NASA's Commercial Crew Program. And if at any time during the presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to jump right in and ask. All right? All right. So we had the Apollo program back in the 1960s and 1970s, and that's when we went to the moon. And then we went to the Space Shuttle program. The emphasis of NASA switched from deep space to low Earth orbit. The Space Shuttle only went about 250, 300 miles above the Earth. But NASA decided a number of years ago that it was time for us to refocus our attention on deep space rather than low Earth orbit. So NASA retired the shuttle program in 2011 and started working on the Artemis program. On the right-hand side of your screen, you see a picture that I took of NASA's newest rocket called the Space Launch System. I'm fortunate enough to live about an hour from Kennedy Space Center. They had a special tour before the launch of this rocket, so I got to get up pretty close and get a picture, so that's a picture that I actually took of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Some information about the Space Launch System. You see the orange tank. The orange tank holds liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. Those feed the 4 RS-25 engines. Those engines come from the Space Shuttle program. Space Shuttles only had 3 of the engines. This one has 4 of the engines, and the engines have all been upgraded and supercharged. So that's what feeds those engines. On the right-hand side, you see the 2 solid rocket boosters. Solid rocket boosters are developed by Northrop Grumman. The orange tank by Boeing, and on the left-hand side of the screen, you see the Orion capsule, and that's developed by Lockheed Martin, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. But back to the rocket. The 2 white solid rocket boosters do about 75% of the work. Okay? They do about 75% of the lifting, and they come off roughly about 2 minutes after launch, and then the engines are going to do the rest of the work to get it up into space, and then the orange tank falls back and it disintegrates, and the solid rocket boosters will not be reusable as they were in the shuttle program. The solid rocket boosters also have an additional segment that have been added, so they're bigger than what they were on the Space Shuttle program. But we did have Artemis 1, which is the first of many launches. It occurred from Complex 39B at Kennedy Space Center on November 16, 2022. Artemis 1 simply brought the Orion crew capsule on the left-hand side of your screen around the moon several times. There were no astronauts on board to test out the systems, and it successfully splashed down off the coast of San Diego in the Pacific Ocean. Okay? So everything went very, very well for Artemis 1. Artemis 2 is currently scheduled for September of next year. Artemis 2 will have 4 astronauts on board. NASA has already named the astronauts. You can go on nasa.gov and look them up and learn all about them. When that launches next year, they're going to go around the moon and come back. All right? That's an opportunity for the humans on board to test out all of the systems. Provided that all goes well, then Artemis 3 is now scheduled for sometime in late 2026. And the goal at this time is to take the 4 astronauts into space. 2 of them will go and land on the surface of the moon. Okay? So we'll see how that all works out.
How long has it been since America's been on the moon?
So 1972 was the last time that humans walked on the moon. So it's been a long time, and I often get the question, well, we've been there, we've done that, why are we doing this again? Valid question, right?
In different areas?
All right, so a couple things are going on. Number one, if you look at a map of the moon when we went in the 60s and 70s, it was somewhere near the equator of the moon. All right, this time when we go back, we're going to the South Pole. Why are we going there? Well, because there's frozen water. Okay, and that frozen water can be used both for the astronauts, for sustainability, and also the water can be split into its hydrogen and oxygen, which is used for fuel, so that we can fuel rockets at the moon and then go to other places. So the ultimate goal is to, in the 2030s, go to Mars. And in fact, the rocket that you're looking at on the right-hand side of your screen is the rocket that NASA is currently planning to use to take us to Mars, the Space Launch System. So that's why we're going to the South Pole this time. All right? So that's the official Artemis logo that you see in the middle of the screen. And again, on the left-hand side is both the Orion crew capsule, that's what they have named it, and the service module, which is manufactured by the European Space Agency. That's their contribution to the Artemis program. So it is in fact a very global approach this time in going back to the moon, rather than in the 1960s and 70s when we predominantly did it kind of by ourselves. So that's the Artemis program. All right, Mars. So that's the goal, that we're going to go to Mars in 2030s. Now, Elon Musk has a plan. His plan is to get there much, much sooner. I often get the question, is that any threat to NASA? Absolutely not. If Elon wants to spend all of his money and put 2 people or 1,000 people into his Starship, and I mentioned Starship because the SLS was the most powerful rocket in the world until Elon Musk launched his Starship rocket, which is now the most powerful rocket. So if he wants to put a few hundred humans in that spaceship and send them to Mars before, hey, more power to him. We're going to learn more, and that's really what this is all about. You know, that's what NASA is all about. It's about learning. It's about developing technologies that we can use right here on Earth. Things like our cell phones, things like thermal blankets are all outcomes of things that NASA has investigated and done experiments on. So, at least in my eyes, this is a good use of our tax money.
Yes.
NASA tells me I shouldn't talk about money. So right now I'm speaking not as a spokesperson for NASA, but I'm speaking as a private citizen. And as a private citizen, I want to make sure that everyone here is clear on exactly how much money NASA gets. Anyone like to guess? If you had a $1 bill, how much does NASA get out of that $1? Again, I'm speaking as a private citizen right now. How much? Half a penny.
Yeah.
That's how much NASA gets every year, half a penny. That's not much. And I think for the things that they do with that half a penny, it's well worth it. And to me, the number one thing is intellectual curiosity. As a sociology professor, I'm always trying to encourage my students to think big, that you can do anything you want if you really put your mind to it. But that requires intellectual curiosity, wondering what's going on beyond our own immediate backyard, per se. And so, if Elon gets there, I don't care. If somebody gets there, I don't care. There's an opportunity to learn and to kind of prod us and move us forward. So, we have a few rovers that are currently not working on Mars because they've given up their life, or we do have a couple that are currently running. So the newest one is Perseverance. It landed back in 2021. Been doing a lot of work, and you see an image of it, illustration on the left-hand side. It's got a lot of science, technology, instruments. What's the goal? Well, the goal is to do exploration. The goal is to look for evidence of life past or current? You know, is there life out there in the universe? Well, you know, who am I to say? But I look to some very, very smart people, someone like, let's say, yeah, not Musk, Stephen Hawking, a gentleman that passed away quite a number of years ago, a brilliant, brilliant human being. When asked, is there life in the universe? He said, yeah, there's life in the universe. It would be a shame if there wasn't something out there. And I personally think that it would almost be impossible. It's just a matter of us looking for it and eventually finding it. So today scientists believe if we find evidence of life on Mars, it's going to be past life. It probably won't be living, but it's not going to be a little green man walking around or lying down that's dead with antennas. It's probably going to be very small microscopic life. But if microscopic life is found current, or if it existed in the past, it doesn't matter. It's there. It's all that matters. On the right-hand side of your screen, you see the Ingenuity helicopter. This was kind of like a last-minute thought that NASA said, hey, why don't we send along a helicopter, knowing that the atmosphere is extremely thin on Mars, so it doesn't have a lot of stuff to grab onto. So when you get on your plane and you fly home today or tomorrow, and you look at it and you go, how does this thing fly? So it has to have some pressure that's built up, some atmosphere to grab onto per se. Well, there's not much of that in Mars. So what they did is they built rotors that would move extremely fast and very engineerically designed to do the best they could, and they weren't sure if it would even fly. Well, let's see. Give me 1 second here. All right, so I don't know if you've seen this, but this is in fact a camera on the Perseverance rover looking toward the helicopter, which is right down here. It's starting up. And this is the very first time that a helicopter flies on another body in the solar system. Didn't go up very high, all right? Didn't go very far, didn't go anywhere. But in fact, that's the very first flight. This is the actual video that NASA took. And since then, there were 72 flights. They went up higher each time, they went further each time. It was a demonstration mission to demonstrate and test if it would work, and in fact, it did work.
That's cool.
And so,
How big was it?
like a small toaster.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so pretty small.
Oh, wow.
All right. So in fact, NASA now will be considering adding additional rotorcraft to future missions that go to places like Mars to scout out areas, so that when the rover goes through, it's not going down in some hole and can't recover from it. Okay, we're not interested in a commercial.
That's so cool.
All right. How many of you have heard of the James Webb Space Telescope?
We love the James Webb.
Just about all of you. So for those of you who haven't, I'm sure that all of you have heard about the Hubble Space Telescope. The Hubble Space Telescope was launched back in 1990. It's still up there right now, about 350 miles above us, going around the Earth about every 90 minutes at over 17,000 miles per hour. Many of the pictures that you would see coming from NASA up until just recently, if it's of space, probably came from the Hubble Space Telescope. It's been an awesome observatory. However, NASA knew a long time ago that it needed something bigger and better to look further back in time, to look further back in the universe. So the creation of the James Webb Space Telescope actually started many years ago, back in the 1990s. It was greatly delayed because of the technology challenges, the engineering challenges. but they were able finally to get it together. It's so large, it's roughly about the size of a tennis court, that there was no way for them simply to put it on a rocket and launch it fully assembled. So they folded it all up, put it on an Ariane 5 rocket, which this was the European Space Agency's contribution, because this is a collaboration both with the European Space Agency and the Canadian Space Agency. So the European Space Agency launched James Webb on Christmas Day 2021, folded up. Immediately upon release, after it was launched, it had to start opening up. And there were over 200 what was called fail points that it had to open and pieces had to lock properly into place. And if just one of them didn't work properly, didn't open and lock into place properly, the entire project would be completely wasted. Well, it all worked perfectly, and there was no way to repair it. Unlike the Hubble, when we had the shuttle, we could go up, grab it, pull it in, fix it, let it go. That wasn't possible with this one, because this one, after launch, it was headed to roughly 1 million miles away from the Earth, to what's called the Lagrange point 2. So once it's on its way, there's no way we're fixing it. Luckily, it all worked perfectly. It's at its current home, roughly 1 million miles away from Earth. So you might be wondering, why do we want to put it so far away from Earth? If Hubble's so close and it did such a great job, why send it so far away? Anyone know why? All right, so I'll tell you what it is. James Webb uses infrared camera technology, okay? And that is very, very sensitive to sunlight and heat. And the Earth puts out a lot of heat. So in order to get it away from the heat and the sun reflecting from the Earth, we put it out in this, what's a very special sweet spot when it comes to gravity, called L2, the Lagrange point 2. That way the heat from the Earth is not heating it up. And also there's a huge, and you can see at the bottom here, at the bottom of the screen, this is a sun shield. Where's my pointer? Well, down the bottom there. Right there. That's a sun shield. So this is the part, the sun is coming from this direction here, and the actual telescope is on the opposite side. There's a huge temperature difference. All right? So I'm sure you've probably seen some images that have been released from James Webb. On the left-hand side is perhaps the most amazing picture or image that has been released. Everything that you're looking at, with the exception of the spikes. Let's see if I can squeeze through here. Those up there are stars within our own Milky Way galaxy. Everything else that you're looking at here is a galaxy.
Oh my God.
In fact, NASA says there are over 10,000 galaxies in this one tiny image of the sky. To give you an idea of how tiny this is, if you just held your fist up to the sky, you're just looking at that right there. And there are 10,000 galaxies right there. So imagine if you took a picture here, and here, and here, and here, and here. All right, and start doing the math and adding it all up. You see that there are many, 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 many galaxies out there. Every galaxy is made up of millions and millions of stars.
Yeah.
If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know that there's anything that could possibly say that.
Oh yeah.
It kind of puts everything into perspective.
Yep. Yes, that is.
All right. Everybody doing good?
Doing good.
Looks like we get a little sun out there. Yes,
Come on,
maybe.
son.
How many of you have ever heard of the DART mission? And it's not the current
Dallas area.
It's not the Dallas Area Rapid Transit System. It's the double asteroid redirection test. So back September 2022, NASA purposely crashed a satellite into, you can see the system here, Dimorphos here on the left-hand side. It was a binary asteroid system. And the purpose was to see if we crashed something into it, would it nudge it off course a little bit? What's the thinking? The thinking is, well, what happened millions of years ago with an asteroid that came and wiped out the dinosaurs could eventually come and do some serious damage here. Could we defend the planet? So let's start with something small, relatively small. So here is actual video of the crash.
So you crash a satellite into an asteroid and you change it so it wasn't the Earth.
Once everything's perfectly organized, I'll start working on my thesis.
Grammarly will ensure you feel confident nailing your final thesis by supporting your writing journey from start to finish. Welcome to Ideation Station.
How do I write the perfect intro paragraph?
Grammarly can highlight precise tips for an introductory paragraph based on the research you've done so far.
This
Oh, Eclipse.
Oh, here we go.
All right, so this is, have any of you seen this?
No.
So this is actual video taken from the spacecraft crashing into the smaller body of this binary asteroid system. So this is an animation. This is the actual video.
Wow.
You would think that NASA could have got it so it wasn't shaky. Huh? Come
It's a little
on.
windy up there. No.
And there you go.
But there was no sound.
Yeah, they really dropped the ball, didn't they? Such losers.
Could have made some good sound, good
Yes.
sound effects.
So
Give it to George Lucas, he'll fix it.
let's get back to the right one here. So in short, it worked.
Yeah.
All right, it worked. It actually worked better than they thought it was going to work.
That's amazing.
So onward we go. Bigger asteroid, bigger satellite, bigger crash planned for some time in the future. That's the DART program. All right, how many of you are familiar with the OSIRIS-REx spacecraft that went and touched an asteroid, collected some samples, and returned them to the Earth? Anyone familiar with them?
Oh, wow.
A few of you? All right, so the actual collection date occurred on October 20th, 2020. And again, satellite went down, very lightly touched the asteroid, collected sample, returned it to Earth. It returned back on September 24th of last year, not that long ago. So bear with me 1 second. All right, so this is a short video, but again, this is actual video. This is not made up. This is the actual video of it occurring. Got the collection, took off, came back, landed in the Utah desert again last September. And so they have already started distributing it to interested parties that are eligible to start doing some testing on the sample that was collected. Okay. Again, pretty amazing that you can take off from Earth, find an asteroid a long, long distance away, be able to target it, get what you want, and to bring it back all successfully. This takes a lot of work, a lot of really smart people to pull this stuff off.
Was it a specific asteroid they wanted to?
Yes.
Like, for what reason?
They analyze things like size, possibility of what they can collect, how much they can collect, how successful they feel like the mission will be. All kinds of things went into why they picked on that. Yes, absolutely.
How did eclipses happen?
I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Okay, I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
We gotta learn all this other cool stuff.
All right,
Lots of stuff.
Psyche mission. So there is a little sticker that some of you have gotten. If you haven't gotten one, then make sure you get one before you leave. How many of you are familiar with the Psyche mission? All right, so the Psyche mission was launched from Kennedy Space Center on October the 13th. I was very excited because I worked with some of the Psyche people that were based out of JPL in California. They came to Florida for the launch. I was able to join them for the launch at Kennedy Space Center. The launch was on a board a Falcon Heavy rocket. All right, and this mission is to go also to an asteroid, but this is a metal-rich asteroid, rather than like the one that we just talked about for the OSIRIS-REx mission. What's important about the composition of it is we would love to know what's going on deep within the Earth, but we don't have the technology today to drill that far down. But what we can do is we can go to a metal-rich asteroid that we believe once was a planet in the forming. It could have become a planet. But the hypothesis is that something came and hit it and tore off all of the rock that was building on it, leaving just the metal, the core metal. So this is an opportunity for us. Sorry about that. So here is my launch video.
Startup. We are now 55 seconds to liftoff of the 8th Falcon Heavy launch to date.
So this is taken from the viewing area at the Kennedy Space Center. You were there, the Apollo 5. Yes.
SpaceX launch director giving the go for launch. Now 40 seconds to liftoff.
Why is this not going to full screen?
30 seconds. Less than 30 seconds to liftoff now.
That's funny, it's not going to full screen.
Startup. We are now 55 seconds to liftoff.
All right, so again, Falcon Heavy rocket,
Falcon Heavy launch to date.
launched from Kennedy Space Center. It will not arrive at the Psyche asteroid for quite a number of years because it has to do a number of maneuvers. But this is pad 39A, which is leased by SpaceX.
Less than 30 seconds.
You're going to see that there's a bit of a lag in the audio versus the video. It will start launching when it says about T-minus 5 seconds. It was somewhat a cloudy day, so within about 6 seconds of launch, you're going to see it disappear.
And here we go.
Kind of like
10,
what's happening now.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff of the 8th Falcon Heavy rocket for NASA's Psyche mission, off to explore a metal-rich asteroid for the very first time.
So if you'd like to see some more, if you would like to see some more launches from Kennedy Space Center, I've got a link here to my YouTube channel. And feel free to subscribe, like, comment. Did I hit it? I think I hit everything.
Pump up that.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
That's so cool.
All right, I think there's two more things, and then we're going to talk about the Eclipse. I think we're doing okay on time. Anyone ever heard of the Europa Clipper? A couple of you? All right, so talking about life in the solar system earlier. There may be life here on Earth. I haven't found a lot of it, but there's life here. Yeah, intelligent life. Okay. Scientists believe that if we find life here in our Milky Way galaxy, the best chance of finding life will be on one of the moons of Jupiter or Saturn. And the highest probability rests with Europa, which is one of the major moons of Jupiter. The image that you see down on the right-hand corner, you've got the surface of the moon with the satellite above it and Jupiter in the background. This moon is covered with frozen ice, roughly about 6 miles deep. All right? But scientists believe below this 6-mile deep ice covering is liquid water. And the reason they believe that there's liquid water there is because of the tugging and the gravity of the planet Jupiter, which tugs on it, which puts friction on the moon, which heats it up internally. Okay? So scientists believe that if we find living life in our galaxy, this is probably where it's going to be. So NASA said, let's put together a mission and let's send it there and check it out. So it's called the Europa Clipper. It will launch in October. That's the current launch time from the Kennedy Space Center. It's going to take quite a bit of time to get there. It will not be orbiting the moon itself. It actually will be in orbit around Jupiter, the planet. And the reason for that is because if they put it in orbit around the moon, the radiation coming off of Jupiter will fry all of its instruments because it's so powerful. So what they're going to do is they're going to put it actually in orbit around Jupiter, bring it in quickly around the planet, try to slow it down as it gets near the moon, and spin it, turn it up again, move it fast. And so that's the engineering and the technology behind it. If you would like to actually see them being the people in California working on this project, you can go to a live feed. Nope. This tells you a little bit about the program. NASA they do an awesome job of promoting these videos and everything.
That's great.
And you know, we humans can do incredible things when we put our minds to it, can't we?
Yes.
We spend so much time bickering with one another, and I'm right and you're wrong, but just imagine if we could come together we could do in, I just slipped into my sociology professor mode. There is a live feed. If you go on YouTube and do live feed,
Okay.
JPL, Europa Clipper building, you can actually see them in the White Room building when they're working. All right, one more thing that I think you're all going to like, and then we're going to talk about the Eclipse, not what I wanted here. How many of you have ever heard of NASA Eyes? NASA Eyes? No? All right, well, you're in for a treat, NASA Eyes. You're definitely going to want to go home and check this out. So if you go to eyes.nasa.com, you can get a real-time view of our solar system and some other things. I'm going to show you our solar system. And so if you go to the solar system right now, they have a special feature that's showing the eclipse. Okay, but I do want to show you eyes on the solar system. So this is a very real representation of exactly what's happening in our solar system right now, where everything is positioned. Not only the planets and some of the major moons, but also all the spacecraft that are out there, including the ones that I spoke of. You can look at it real time like it is now. You can back it up in time. You can move it forward. If you want to know where everything's going to be in a year or 50 years, it's all right here for you to manipulate, zoom in, zoom out, put it upside down, you name it. So the Psyche mission that I was talking about earlier, there it is. And this is real time. This is actually where it is in this journey. And if you click on the title, it will zoom in and tell you all about the spacecraft and the mission and what's going on and so on and so forth. So it's a really, really cool website. And I highly recommend that you check it out. All right? So let's just get on with the major event of the day. And that's why I think we're all here today at the hotel. That's for the big show. So we can expect partial eclipse to start at 12:23 today. So that is, what, hour 40 some odd minutes. Totality begins at 1:40 p.m. Lasts for about 4 minutes to 1:44. And it officially ends at 3:02. All right. What is a solar eclipse? So a solar eclipse is basically a pretty neat phenomenon that happens roughly about every 18 months. But we don't see most of them because they occur over water. All right. So if you really want to see an eclipse on a regular basis, just find somebody that has access to a boat or maybe a plane, and you can see them all the time. But they're relatively rare to occur over land. And over such a populated area, this is often referred to now as the Great American Eclipse. Well, I don't like to call it that because I don't want to claim that it's our eclipse. Right? It's going through Mexico, it's going through Canada, so it's not ours. But it is going through some very large cities like Dallas and Cleveland. All right. So what's happening?
Because the moon orbits like once every month, is there a solar eclipse every month somewhere around the world? About every 18 months roughly, there's one of these phenomena happening. Yeah.
So what's happening? Basically, the moon is coming in between our view of the sun. Right. And if you were somewhere else, you wouldn't be getting it, right? So it's just our perspective. It's all about perspective. What's pretty neat, though, is because we are in the path of totality, the sun is about 400 times the size of the moon. And the sun is about 400 times further from us than the moon, which makes it a perfect scenario, which allows it to kind of block out the sun. All right? Some information about the sun. The sun is roughly about halfway through its life. The lifespan is roughly about 10 billion years. It's about halfway through the lifespan.
So we're okay.
So we should be okay. Something very bizarre about our sun that most people don't know. Our sun, of course, is just a star. There are millions of stars in our galaxy, but our sun is somewhat of a weirdo. And here's why it's a weirdo. Because there's only one. Do you know that the majority of suns out there are actually what's called a binary system? There are actually two of them gravitationally linked to one another. So if you watch Star Wars and you see two stars in the sun in the sky, that's more normal than what we have. Okay? So most stars have a twin or maybe even an additional star that they're all gravitationally linked. It's halfway through its life. It's about, 27 million degrees Fahrenheit at its core. It's roughly about 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit in what's called the photosphere, which is what we would consider to be the surface. The sun doesn't have a hard surface, but that's what we define as being the surface. 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, that's not bad compared to the 27 million degrees in the core. Here's something that scientists are very baffled about regarding our sun. As you move away from what we can call the surface, it gets hotter. Over 3 million degrees. Scientists can't figure out what's going on. How does it get warmer as you move away from the surface? But it is. And so when we hopefully see what's called the corona, which is the hotter section, you're going to be looking at something that's hotter than something that's actually closer to the sun. Go figure. All right?
Is that why all the astrophysicists are
Yes.
excited?
Yeah, that's why everyone's
They're like
excited.
Little kids at a candy store. Right?
You know, NASA is got several planes that are flying today to gather data. NASA set up all along the path of totality today. They're going to be doing a live stream broadcast at nasa.gov starting at, I think it's 11 o'clock our time, roughly. So they're doing a lot of work. Let's see, anything else about the sun? 93 million miles away. Oh, so it takes about 8 minutes for the light when it leaves the sun to get here on Earth. So if we could shut off the sun, or if the sun just shut off, it won't. We wouldn't know it for 8 minutes because it takes that long for the light to get here. All right. All right. The moon. So the moon's going to be moving in front of the sun from our perspective. The moon is about 240,000 miles, give or take a little bit, from us. Any light that we see coming from the moon is not being produced by the moon. It's just a reflection of the sun. What else do we want to know? So did that answer your question, sweetie? What makes a solar eclipse? Yeah. So you got the sun, like that light right there. See that light? That represents the sun. Yeah. And then we have something that comes in front of it, and that's the moon. And then the moon creates a shadow on the Earth, which is roughly about 100 miles wide. And that shadow. So today is just.
I saw a lunar eclipse.
Oh, okay, very good. Yeah. And so that's just going to kind of go from the southwest to the northeast part of the country. All right. I got a little video here. Not sure what's happening here.
experience an eclipse, you feel that connection with space.
Oh my gosh! Look at the ray structure!
The universe is out there and it's affecting us. We are in space.
And here it comes, there's the diamond ring. And that is the most spectacular sight.
You haven't seen it. You haven't seen anything.
All right. Anyone have any questions? I cannot be guaranteed to be able to answer your question, but if you have any, or give it a try.
How often do lunar eclipses happen?
I don't know. How often? So about every 14, 18 months. Again, most of them we don't see because they're over water. We could go see them. Well, I will be here if anybody wants to come up and talk. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. If you haven't gotten your glasses, a NASA sticker, come on up and get one. Thank you so much for coming.
Where do you think is a good spot to try to see it from here?
I'm just going to be out in the parking lot.
Which part of the parking lot will the view of the sun?
I don't know this location because I'm just staying here. I'm just going to find an open area and it should be good. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, yeah.
Appreciate that.
All right, you're welcome. You're welcome.
You can make the overcast disappear.
Yeah. Directions? Anyone want directions on how to use solar glasses?
Me.
All right. Make sure that you use glasses, special glasses. Don't use sunglasses. You will damage your eyes.
Thanks again. That was great.
Thank you. It was really great. I want to take your classes. Can you be my professor? 30 years ago.
I didn't give you one.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
Oh, my NASA glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's right there. That's all right. Two of them. It makes me want to go back to teaching. I taught elementary school for 30 years, and I'm watching this going, oh my God, if I had a classroom again. Oh.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Do you have a viewing spot scouted out already?
I don't. I'm just
We
gonna
do.
Go out in the parking lot.
We have a good one.
We have a good one.
Because, tell them,
We
scouted.
She wanted to see it in nature.
Oh, okay.
Turtle Creek comes down here, like
Yes.
straight outside.
Yeah.
If you go
to
the left, you can get down into
Yes.
the green belt
Yeah.
there. And so there's a lot of birds in that. And so they're supposed to go quiet
Oh,
when the sun goes
good
down.
idea.
They do. It's pretty.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so we
we've never
thought-
seen it in the totality before, so I'm very excited. So,
And so we thought, and it's not that far of a walk.
yeah, it's like a 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's behind Radio Gun.
Yeah.
It's behind the Ferris
Yes, that's right.
Wheeler. Yeah, right. That's how we found it because we ate there, and I'm like, oh, there's a path down there. We got to figure this out because we figured that'd be a good place
Just don't go off path.
Dark.
with snakes and
jiggers.
and I don't know what
But
that
there's a
is.
bike path there, so.
Yeah, they're past it.
So you can't sit in the ground. Oh, that's good to know. I don't know what a jigger is. Let's hear it.
I don't know that they do it on a regular basis for the ones that, because there are lots of other opportunities to do this. I haven't heard of NASA. They did it in 2017, but I don't know that they do it in other places.
They have
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's just so much hype that people are like, well, NASA, of course, should be doing this. So, you know.
Yeah. So they don't.
I don't know that they do it other times. I don't know. Fascinating.
Thank you, that was so
All right.
interesting. Did you repeat that part about
Yeah. So the sun is 400 times larger than the moon, and the sun is 400 times further away from the Earth than the moon, which means that it basically covers. It's just a coincidence.
You get some eclipse glasses, sir? Question about the moon. Okay. Does it rotate?
Yeah. Well,
Does it spin?
no. It's what's called. What's the terminology? Tidally locked to Earth.
Okay, so we see the same face all the time.
Yeah, it's tidally
So
locked.
when we talk about the dark side of the moon,
Yes, we
won't
don't
be
see it.
today.
No.
Because the sun will be on the dark side of the moon today.
That's right. That's right.
So it's like, totally, it's going to get fried.
Yeah.
One of those weird things to think about.
Yes, oh yes.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Enjoy.
We'll join up on your YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yes, I subscribe really good. So have you guys been to Disneyland?
Yeah, we have a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have.
No, it's I know. You have your DVC?
Yes, we are.
That's
We
fun.
question our sanity for being DVC. but
I
we
know
are.
it. Oh my
The
God.
fees are, buying in that's one thing. It's like, okay, but the fees are just.
Have you used it like in
Oh, we
other?
use it.
Have you gone to like Hong Kong or Japan
No,
or Aulani or?
we used it at Grand Californian.
Oh yes.
We've used it in what is it? Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh.
We've done that
yeah.
one. We've done Vero Beach, of course.
Okay,
We've done
yeah.
all of them at Disney. So we have not been to Aulani.
Aulani's
in
supposed to be
Hawaii.
really nice.
And I think that's the only one we haven't been to.
Yeah, because have you seen? Because then they just opened new things at Grand California. Which
no,
I've heard.
no.
I'm not DVC, but
I think it's been about 5 years since we've been there.
Oh, you guys should come for Pride Night.
Yeah.
Pride Night, Disney does a really, my friends who've gone are like, they can't believe how good it is.
Yeah. Unlike Florida, where it's almost illegal.
I'm like, how the hell you guys live in Florida? And you're going to university, so there's no DEI anymore.
Yeah, I teach sociology, and our wonderful governor, just in January, along with the Republican legislature and the Commissioner of Education, took sociology out of the core curriculum because they claim that it's propaganda and speculative. And so they don't want students being brainwashed about racism, sexism.
Sociology?
Yes. They took sociology out of the core curriculum.
Are you? Because I know all the my sister works for a Speak Out bureau that sends speakers all over the country, all DEI stuff. Everything is DEI from everything. And there are people that they can't send to Florida anymore because they're not allowed to. There are professors that they've worked with for years who are afraid for their jobs.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's how
I'm
are
not
you
sure
gonna,
what's
are you
gonna
guys?
happen.
I was going to say
I'm
for
not
you
sure
that's
what's going to happen with my job.
yeah. Oh my God! Come to California. We're the safe place.
Believe me, when we're retiring in about 5 years, and we're getting it. We need to get out of Florida.
Hi. Good. We just wanted a picture.
Okay. Yes. Where would you like it? In front of the screen?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Like this?
Yeah, perfect. Go Julio.
Take one.
Yeah. This is a... Wait, échate más para acá, Juli. There. There you go.
Excited.
Yeah.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where are you guys from again? California. That's West California. Yeah, we're in Westminster, which is unfortunately right next to Huntington Beach.
Very good. My dad has seen 11 eclipses. Total, 11 total solar eclipses. This is our second. He's 97 and a half. I don't know if he
Well,
So my
that's
sister
pretty
is
impressive.
in Tulsa. My sister's gonna maybe charter a plane.
My brother is
go to Arkansas.
still in San Diego.
So just so he
Yeah, oh
get
my
his
God.
12.
But he's like, yeah.
But he went to Australia and Totality lasted 45 seconds. Just wanted to go to Australia.
Yeah.
So he's been to the Gobi Desert.
Yeah.
So he's got pictures that are unbelievable.
Yeah.
So he's got me interested.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And I have the last few months really been studying about space travel. And the question I got is what kind of technology is NASA pursuing right now to get us out of the solar system? Alpha Centauri, 4.3 light years away.
Yeah.
And I read the other day, if you're in the space shuttle, I think it'll take you 148,000 years to get there.
Right. So, even if we could travel at the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles per second, it would still take us that 4 years to get there. So, NASA's, got brilliant scientists working on all this stuff, but it ain't gonna happen anytime soon.
I know. Einstein, he's pretty smart.
Yeah, maybe we're contact something else, some other beings out there that have the technology that they can share with us. So here's guys, you just needed to add this one number in this equation, and it all fixes itself.
Because even like I think the fastest we got is that probe. What was it, JP? The probe. It's going 340 miles an hour.
Voyager 1 and 2?
No, it's the one that went past the sun. So, solar probe.
Solar Parker probe.
There it is, Parker.
I should have mentioned that.
Yeah. That's the fastest speed we've ever attained. And that would take something like 1,700 years or so to get to Alpha Centauri. Because there's one of the 3 stars that has a planet that they believe is in the Goldilocks zone.
How they do the reveal.
Mind-boggling.
Imagine what NASA could do if they got
They've really turned around
penny.
that.
I don't know if you were here when I was mentioning how much money NASA gets.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
It's a half a penny on the dollar.
Yeah.
So imagine if they got a penny on the dollar, we'd be able to probably move a lot faster on some of these.
Yeah, but that leap in technology is going to have to be.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again.
All right,
That was
you're
very
welcome.
interesting.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
That was amazing. Just sat there and watched the little presentation.
And all of a sudden the reveal. I think so. You got the glasses and the NASA sticker.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. They say don't touch it.
Great, thank you.
But they got security.
Somebody left it. Would you like
The
an
other
extra
night,
set?
I'm visiting friends. And we walked out, and our friend was. And it was.
What was that again? Starlink, right?
Yeah.
And it was just going over them.
Just over.
We'd never seen it before.
And we were like,
we're
it's
at
weird.
SpaceX launches all the time.
And then we had the SpaceX launch just, a few days later.
I mean, when they do that over there, it just looks so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, because there it goes off over the ocean, right?
Yeah, you can't really see it over the ocean.
What was nice about the recent one was that it was kind of backlit by the sun, the sunset. And so the vapor trail,
that's pretty cool.
So were you guys staying here?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Were you guys watching the thing from? Well, that's why I was telling him I want to be in nature because one of the things I've always heard is birds will stop and think it's